Hello Tenno, welcome to the second part of the Warframe 2025 Rewind, where I will talk about all of the Prime Warframes that released this year. I hope you're ready to enjoy the ride, so sit back, relax, and without further ado, let's get on to it. So, just like 4 Warframes released this year 4 Prime Warframes released. And that started with Lavos Prime. Lavos Prime released with a hotfix that was connected to the 1999 update, so there wasn't much big changes, similar to other Prime Warframe updates. I am using a deluxe skin here, apologies for that. I'm going to use this Prime design later on to the video. Um, Lavos Prime is the Prime version of Lavos. Lore-wise, Lavos primed himself, so that's kind of sick. Usually Primes are explained as Medal of Honors, or they were made by it. So Lavos primed himself. Lavos came with 2 prime weapons, one of them being Cedo Prime, the prime version of Cedo. It's just got some increased stats, and the unique trait is still the same, where your alt fire shoots a glaive that procs enemies with bunch of status effects, and your regular fire, like your primary fire, will deal extra damage based on this amount of statuses on the enemy. So basically, the weapon has condition overload, and with Galvanized Savvy, it just becomes even stronger. The other Prime weapon that Lavos Prime came with is the Prime Dual Zoran. This is the Prime version of Dual Zoran, just got some extra stats, and the unique trait here is actually unique to this Prime, which is basically coptering. When you melee in the air, it will shoot you forward, like catapult you forward, back in the old days where before bullet jumping there was coptering. Here is much more of the design of the actual Lavos Prime right here. I still fashioned him, but this is his skin. Like, I just painted blue and silver. His abilities are, if you're seeing Lavos for the first time, his passive, he doesn't use energy. Energy and health orbs give Lavos status immunity for 10 seconds, and you can hold down your abilities to imbue them with an element for the next ability you're gonna cast. So his first ability heals him, and you can hold down this ability to deal toxin damage on your next ability. And since he doesn't use energy, all of his abilities are on cooldowns. His second ability, yeah, it's toxin, right? Yeah. His second ability, Wild Rush, basically a mobility ability, and you can hold down this ability to give your next abilities cold. And you can combine these elements, by the way, so you can give your next ability viral. His third ability basically shoots down this probe where if it hits enemies, it lowers the cooldown of your other abilities. And when you hold down this ability, it imbues electricity, which is quite handy. You can combine it to make magnetic or corrosive and stuff. And his fourth ability, basically you throw like these discs around you 360 degrees, and this ability, when you hold it down, imbues with heat. So what you can do is that you can hold down your fourth ability and your second ability, which are heat and cold, to make your next ability, like the ability you will cast, deal blast damage. And then you use your third ability to lower your cooldowns for your 4, your 2, and 1. And like I said, before you cast any of these abilities, you can give them elements, you can give them combinations. Like, it's pretty handy how detailed his complex his kit is. I just like how you can like combine elements by holding down abilities, so your next ability you cast will deal that, and if you're using augments such as Valence Fusion, your weapons will also have those elements in a 300 status chance. So you're basically a weapons platform with the augment. Lavos was always an interesting Warframe to me. Since I was starting to Warframe, I watched a YouTuber named Kengineer, and he was a Lavos main. That's also caused me to be a Lavos main. He was one of the first frames I actually farmed going to Deimos, and that's why I'm kind of biased that he's my favorite Prime release this year. I love Lavos Prime, I love Cedo and Cedo Prime, and Dual Zoran Prime also fun with its gimmick of coptering. I love how he used to be just the elemental mix-up Warframe that his abilities could deal a bunch of elements, but now he can also be used as a weapons platform too. Like, he's just overall a really fun Warframe. He is certainly niche because he's kind of complex at times. Like, you have to figure out which to use when, which elements combination next. Do you just go this element or you combine them? Which ability comes first? Which ability comes second? Like I like that there's so much moving parts to levels, and I hope Warframe releases more unique, more complex Warframes with this much moving parts. No shade to the new releases. I enjoy the newly released Warframes a lot, and these old from the old ones, Lavos and also Woban are one of my two favorite Warframes. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about Lavos Prime. He's just an improved version of a Warframe that I already love, and his weapons are also improved version of weapons I already used. So he's a pretty cool Prime release, and I enjoy them a lot. Our next Prime Warframe is Yareli Prime. This is the Prime version of Yareli. In the lore, it is explained this is her Orokin era attire, and she was released with the Yareli Prime update. There were tiny changes, like there were like some quality of life updates in these updates, so Prime updates don't usually bring that much of a huge table. Um, she was the originally earned from Ventkit stuff, and she's the K Drive Warframe. She's pretty cool. She has a really unique kit, but I didn't play her much, and she also has a special augment where you could make the K Drive the Meruluna summon, so she can still give you the damage resistance. And that just spawned like two different playstyles for Urali. You could either go K driving, or you could either just have a summon that protects you and shoots your first ability for you. So, Yoreli Prime came out released with two weapons. Those are being Daiku Prime, which has a special unique trait, which is when you headshot, it's like 3 point hits have like 250 critical chance, and when people notice that when you build this weapon with Blast, not only it has insane amount of single target damage, the Blast procs actually blow up everything around them. Her other Prime weapon is Compressor Prime. Compressor Prime doesn't have any unique gimmicks, but it has like these bubbles that stick onto enemies, they can blow up. The weapon has viral damage from the default, so you can do crazy stuff like viral blast or viral corrosive electricity or viral corrosive magnetic to deal with overguard. It's a really unique weapon, and I really enjoy Compressor Prime. And she also comes with Merluna Prime, which you can just do stuff cosmetically. Her kit is pretty simple. Her passive is while Yareli is moving, every secondary weapon has 200% critical chance. Sea Snares is her first ability, shoots bubbles that makes enemies go airborne and they are vulnerable to damage, which is pretty sick. And like I said, Loyal Marulina Augment makes the Marulina as a summon and protects you and shoots this automatically, by the way. Marulina is your K drive, which gives you damage reduction and you can either drive it or, like I said many times, augment. It has a really high HP, so the protection it gives is really good. Also, you can do K-drive tricks with this, like double jumps, spins, maybe gliding as well. Her third ability is her bread and butter because she creates these aqua blades around her, and these can like infinitely scale. So whatever type of enemy you're fighting, they will eventually die to the slash procs. It doesn't matter what level they are, which is pretty sick. And her fourth ability is a grouping nuke. Basically, you group up enemies in a bubble, and then you can burst this bubble, and more enemies in the bubble, the higher the damage it will deal. It's one of those grouping abilities you have. You can combine it with aqua blades, and there are other augments where you can shoot aqua blades at an enemy, which can make the fourth ability even more fun, and that just creates interesting combos with her kit. Now I'm gonna do a gameplay without Loyal Merluna. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's just Merluna and Guardian, I believe. Merluna Guardian is a different way to play her. Like I said, there's like two playstyles. You can either go Loyal Merluna, get her as a summon, shoot the sea snares automatically if you don't want the K drive, or you can go Merluna Guardian, where enemies eliminated during sea snares, her first ability heals Merluna's health. Upon healing, gain 200% reload speed and fire rate on secondary weapons for 20 seconds, by the way. Like for 20 seconds, you're not only you're having crit, you're also having insane amount of buffs to your secondaries. So she's basically that secondary weapon mobile shooting warframe, which is pretty awesome. Now, I gotta say, I play Yareli Prime actually quite a lot of time. I played regularly Yareli a lot as well, and she's honestly really fun. From what I heard about Yareli's history, that she had a rocky release, probably one of the worst release, if I remember correctly, but she got buffed, and she basically became the less buggy, and stronger version of herself. So, in my opinion, Yareli and Yareli Prime now are still underrated warframes that I think you should give it a chance. Because like I said many times, like you don't have to play her with the K drive gameplay. We have augments now. Her passive is pretty cool. The playstyles you can do with her are awesome. Like if you're just a guy who likes using secondary weapons, here you go. This is your time to shine. Or if you don't want the K drive, you can just use an augment to use your other abilities while also being benefit from the Meriluna automatically shooting your first ability, which makes enemies vulnerable to damage. So her overall kit is really strong. She's a pretty cool Warframe. And the prime weapons that came with her is also pretty cool. I like the Daiku Prime and how you can like headshot to blow up enemies if you build it right. Like it's really fun weapon, like here. And I like how her damage reduction is reliable as well. She's just improved version of Yareli. Like I actually enjoy her kit. I think she is really underrated, and people should give her a chance and her weapons a chance because Compressor Prime is fun. Daiku Prime is amazing both, besides Naturuk and Sinta. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna say about Yareli. She's pretty cool. Infinite scaling damage, buffing secondaries, two different playstyles. Really horrible quest line. Yes, Wave Rider quest still sucks, but she's overall cool. Just get the Prime if you don't want to mess with the quest. So that's all I will say about Yareli Prime. Also, I like the Exolatal design. It's a really cute design. Anyways, moving on to the next Prime. So our next Prime is the Banana Man himself, Caliban. Well, used to be one of the least played Warframes until he got his rework, and now he's amazing. And then we got blessed with his Prime design releasing this year. His rework was last year, and he got an amazing design. He was also our first tease to the Old Piece update before Old Piece, and this he released with the Caliban Prime update. Caliban Prime update was right before Noko's Valis Undermine update, and it came with two weapons: the unique sniper rifle Vadaya Prime, which has a trait where if you shoot enemies, there's a chance to spawn like lightnings coming from the sky. And this was bugged with blast procs. It got nerfed, it got bug fixed, but blast procs still work with it. If you don't want to go blast, you can make a viral build. So either way, it still works. I'm mostly using a viral build, but I just wanted to showcase the blast as well. It's a pretty cool weapon. I really like Vadaya Prime. It's a really fun. Sniper rifle where you don't have to like zoom in all the time. The gimmick is cool with wild procs is also awesome, and it also released with Venato Prime, which has a unique trait, which is on status effect inflict toast status effect 50% additional combo count chance when wielded by Caliban. Now I know that you can utilize this with influence, but I don't know if influence shares the Tau effect, though it's still pretty good. I use animosity here because I was planning to do like a basic Tenno build, but I'm gonna change this right now. There we go. Like I said, I don't know if melee influence shares the Tau status effect that's inflicted on stats, but like I said, like influence gonna proc a lot of status anyway, so this is a pretty cool site, by the way. I really enjoy Venata Prime. And I also really enjoy Caliban's gameplay. If you're seeing him for the first time, his kit is allies with infinite range has adaptation. Basically, you have like you take less damage from elements, statuses, damage. Razor Gyre, it got an amazing augment by the way. Razor Gyre is like you spin around dealing total damage, healing Caliban. That heals your shields as well. And it has an augment mode that I use where after you tornado enemies, it can gather up them to a point, and if you spawn your sniper sentients, they can shoot at them in increased damage and increased fire rate, which scales up with ability strength. So that's why I use like Arcane Camisado, I believe. Sentient Friend Arcane Camisado and Summoner's Rat as like my aura. Sentient Rat is like a Rhino Stomp, but like instead of ragdolling the enemies and stopping the time around them, it pushes them to the air and puts them in a status where it makes them easier to headshot, so you can build your incarnates better, or if you have like Primate Deadhead on your weapon, or just headshot easier. It's a pretty cool ability. It's a sub-zoom ability as well. Little Progeny is your summon. You can summon little sword guys, which are in Conquest. They have melee attacks and they copy your fort ability, the big laser. The second one, the Ortholist, are the shooties, which, like I said, with the augment, they can shoot even faster. And Somlist just summons sentience that so they can give your allies and you shield regen. And all of these summons give shield regen already. It's just that Somlist's entire job is just the shield regen part. Fusion Strike is you basically do like a big laser and it leaves a lingering area, and both the laser and the lingering area armor strips. So it's just a huge armor strip nuke, and like I said, your Conquest can copy this as well, making the area even larger. And all of these deal tow damage, by the way. I think I use effective energy orbs because I usually use Arcane Energize, but here I'm using Arcane Camisado and Aegis. I'm using a shield gating build on them. They can be other builds. You can let me know in comments. So before his rework, I used to play Caliban, but I always thought he was like a little weak. And after his rework, he just became awesome. And his prime design is pretty sick. I like that he's also a crucial part in the old piece update, appearing in the one of the cutscenes. And overall, I really like his kit. I really enjoy the weapons that came with him as well. Vadaya Prime is a really unique sniper rifle with its lightning gimmick, and this weapon is probably even more fun or equally as fun with the other Prime I'm gonna talk about after Caliban. I like his Razor Jaya augment. I like his overall gameplay style of a summoner, self-sustaining damage dealer that also armor strips with his nuclear laser beams. His design itself is also pretty cool. I like how he's a sentient that's probably got a Medal of Honor by the Orokin, so now he has this golden look. Even though in the lore he was explained that Era made him, so I don't exactly know. Maybe this was like he did appear in the Old War, so that means after being captured in the Old War, they gave him some other stuff. Who knows? I forgot his lore. Like it's up to debate how exact Caliban Prime is explained. And of course, Venato Prime is the Tau effect makes enemies vulnerable to status effects. So by sharing that Tau with them and then going melee influence with it, just make you deal insane amount of status damage to the enemies. Like Tau's status is special to Caliban so far, but what it does is pretty cool. Like I said, Tau's status makes enemies vulnerable to other status damage, if I remember correctly. Something like that. It just status vulnerability upon status vulnerability if you have heat procs as well. And that's all I will tell about Caliban. Awesome design, awesome weapons. His rework kit is amazing. And yeah, on to the next prime. So, our next and last prime of the year comes from Zeriman, Gyre Prime. This Warframe had a rocky start as well, but then she got an augment called Cathode Current to become one of the most broken and strong electrical Warframes. She came with two weapons, and one of them is Alternox Prime. This is the Prime version of Alternox. The unique gimmick is you can use the Alt Fire to shoot an orb that deals pulse damage. It has interesting interaction with plated rounds. I have a ribbon for it, but it's useful for the Prime. This is just Alternox Prime but gold. This weapon, the original weapon already sucks, and this weapon didn't improve that much. Like, Alternox Prime is better. I would suggest using it, but like, don't expect that much stuff from it. Also, Gyre Prime released with the Gyre Prime old piece update. Old piece update gave us many stuff, and Gyre Prime was one of those. The unique trait of Kestrel Prime, the glaive, is that it can bounce up to 8 times. I use volatile quick return with it because I know it's like -4 bounces, But the fact that on bounce chance to explode kind of covers that minus, in my opinion, is pretty fun and cool. Because I think it's a good thing because it's like -4 bounces, but now all of those 4 bounces is going to blow up. And with melee influence build, yes, again a melee influence build, it does tremendous amount of damage. And like I said, she came with old piece update. She has a really interesting design with that mono eye there. And old piece brought us many things: the quest, the modes, the Sandia, the Devil's Triad, Pivotal Rebellion, Uriel, and yes, she was released with Uriel. This is one of the times where Prime and the regular Warframe released at once. Pretty interesting. Her kit, if you're seeing her for the first time, is that Jara's abilities has a 10% chance to deal critical damage for each electrical status that affects the enemy. Basically, the more electricity on the enemy, the higher your crit's gonna be. Her first ability shoots an orb. You can spawn 3 of these and it electrocutes enemies. It can red crit as well, just like the passive says. And I really like that red critting ability stings a lot for her. It makes her really fun, and that's where her nuclear part comes from. Her second ability is usually a sub-zoom slot for pillage to make her more survivable. It's basically like a bowling ability where you shoot a ball and you can detonate it manually. It deals electricity damage. I don't know if this has nuke potential. Her third ability gives her energy regen. Each kill extended duration, and she gets increased critical chance. And this also has an augment called Cathode Current, where each kill of Cathode Current creates another wave for your fourth ability, basically comboing electric procs upon electric procs, so you can red crit better, so you can nuke better, you can sustain your 3 and 4 better. For her fourth ability being Rotor Swell, where you deal electricity damage on enemies, but when you kill or like shoot at enemies, it also creates lightning bolts coming from the sky to deal additional electricity damage. And with the augment, it just like I said, it's a chain reaction that makes her amazing. Jai Prime is already an amazing Warframe. Her release was kind of rocky, but with that augment, it's a band-aid augment, which I should make a videos on, to be honest. Band-aid augments are a topic that's talked about. She became pretty fun. She is a walking chain reaction of nukes, and like I said, all of the electricity procs lets her get red crits on all of her abilities. You keep killing enemies to sustain your third ability and fourth ability. They never run out of duration. You can kill armies of enemies by just electrocuting them. And since electricity proc also stuns enemies, if you don't have pillage subsume on her, you can survive by that way, or you can just build a shield gating build on her. Alternox Prime is a slightly better version of the regular Alternox, but unfortunately, it doesn't make the weapon that much greater. Like, it has such potential, but like, in my opinion, it needs more buffs. Kestrel Prime, however, turned the starter Boomerang Glaive into something pretty insane, because I like the fact that it can bounce up to 8 times, and with Volatile Quick Return, it has 4 bounces, but it still, like, blows up in every bounce. I don't know if that cuts the 8 bounces, maybe it doesn't, who knows. If it does, like I said, the positive kind of outdoes the negatives. And overall, I enjoyed Jai Prime. She's pretty fun. She's one of the newest release. You can get her relics. Same with the other 4 I mentioned. Their relics are still in the game. And that's all I will say about Jai Prime. These were the primes that released this year: Gyre, Caliban, Lavos, and Yoreli. I enjoyed all of these releases. All of them came with their amazing primed weaponry and newly OC, like unique prime, just prime weapons such as Vadaya Prime. And the lineup was pretty good. Like, I enjoyed all of these releases, and I can't wait for the next year's Prime releases as well, which are probably going to be Clorvo, Citrine, Voruna. Like, that's an insane lineup for next year, and I hope those happen. Like, sometimes the releases can change time to time. And I hope you enjoyed this video. This was the last part of Warframe Rewind to 2025, talking about Prime Warframes. Their updates didn't bring that much of a game-changing stuff, just quality of life updates. But each of the Prime were pretty fun. They're easy to farm if you're lucky, that is. and each of them come with their own unique weaponry that are basically older weapons but Prime versions, or sometimes can be unique to Prime variants like Vadaya Prime, and they're all fun. Just your favorite Warframes, now golden, and they have more energy, more armor, more shields. The stats can vary. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends. I'll see you guys in the next video.